Panda for short. Pretty much, my days in activism started at a young age. 14, didn't know pretty much what I was doing. After graduating high school, I came across the video that Dan Johnson had made for People Against the NDAA. Ever since then, this has been my dream, my passion. I'm so glad to be standing here with everybody today.
Yeah.
So what is the NDAA?
National Defense Authorization Act.
Awesome, somebody knows. In 2011, December 31st, President Barack Obama signed the National Defense Authorization Act, H.R. 1540, into law. Sections 1021 and 1022 allow for the indefinite detention of United States citizens from home or abroad. This is the most dangerous piece of legislation to be signed in American history. So what can you do? We are using our take-back teams to go at the city level and attack this bill head-on. Starting at the city level, we can... Wow. Yeah, I'm not good at public speaking.
You're doing great, man.
Thank you, buddy. Okay. So, you can...
Just keep the cue cards out, you'll be fine.
Alright, yeah. Well, the cue cards don't really help me.
You're not being graded. You're not being graded.
Yeah.
We love you, man.
We give you an A.
You can attack this bill head-on by going to your local city government. Impose interposition against this legislation and attack it at the city level to, in essence, nullify. And, the wrong part. So how does it apply to you? This bill is an extremely big bill. No, you got it. You got it, man.
You got it.
Yeah, buddy.
Good job.
Thank you. Sorry, I get nervous.
That's all right. Good job.
I want to just one more time give Dylan a really big round of applause for taking
Yeah.
His first time public speaking. He's actually taking over People Against the NDAA from me, Panda National. He'll be helping people across the country take on indefinite military detention. Long story short, as he was saying, the NDAA redefines the word terrorist. So it says basically that anyone who commits a belligerent act is considered a possible terrorist. Well, what's a belligerent act? It could be anything from holding a sign to being at this rally to really doing anything that the government considers a terroristic threat. Which, who heard that New York City just instituted a new anti-terror team? Anybody? Did you guys hear what the mayor said the anti-terror team was for?
Oh.
Protesters. A fully armed anti-terror team for protesters. So they redefine the word terrorist, and then they say we can detain you without charge and without trial, we can execute you, and we can torture you as well. So you have this piece of legislation, the 2012 NDAA, says all of this. Now people will say, well, it would never happen here. We would never see that in this country. Who knows the name Abdurrahman al-Awlaki? Does that ring a bell to you? Okay. Abdurrahman al-Awlaki was 16 years old. He was born in Colorado. He was an American citizen murdered by a United States drone strike in Yemen in 2011, under the exact same authority as the 2012 NDAA allows here in this country. Over 1,000 Muslim Americans were eventually arrested and detained shortly after 9/11 under similar types of legislation. But long story short, it's not all bad news. 7 jurisdictions, including the capital of New York, Albany, have banned the military indefinite detention from being utilized in their city, and you cannot be detained without charge or trial, according to the laws of Albany, New York, and 6 other jurisdictions. So the way you fight back, as Dylan was going to say, you go to pandaunite.org, and you can download a piece of legislation there. You can help set up local action teams, and then further, and probably most importantly, you take that resolution and you go to your police department. You pressure the city council. You guys know who hires your police chief, right?
We do.
We do.
City council, technically. Who hires city council?
We do.
We do.
So you pressure the city council by basically saying, oh, by the way, you guys won't have a job. And you put in a piece of police policy that says if the police department assists or allows military indefinite detention in your city or your county, then they will be fired. You put that down on paper in the police policy, And now you've done 2 steps. The final step is set up a citizen team to watch those 2 policies. Once you do that, you push back on the ground level. See, Japanese Americans were detained during World War II without charge or trial. What if when the military had come to those Japanese Americans' homes in Hawaii and said, hey, you're coming with us, I'm taking you, we're going to the next camp, the sheriff goes, no, not happening. That's what we plan to do, and that's what we've been doing to take on the NDAA all around the country, and that is the People Against the NDAA.
Yeah. Right on.
Give a hand here for Dan from Solutions. Institute. He's going to continue to talk more about local organizing.
I'm technically the next speaker, too, so.
Please do continue. You're doing so well, sir.
Thank you, brother. All right, so first and foremost, there's one guy who really put his heart and soul into making this rally a success and getting more than 20, 30, 40 people at a protest, and that is Rick Brewster. Could you guys all give him a round of applause? Yeah, the Awaken Cincinnatians team and Rick Brewster have really done a great job putting together this particular rally. And as we're standing against corruption today, I met Rick at the Million Mask March in Washington, D.C. in November. And he asked me to come out here to, well, there's a lot of people going to talk about the problem. There's a lot of people who know the problem, who understand why you need to get engaged, understand what you need, why you need to get involved, why you need to do something. But what a lot of people don't understand is how. What a lot of people don't understand is once you know why, okay, I've got this crap in my hand. Now how do I get it out? What do I do with it? Most people don't understand why. And so Rick had asked me to come down and talk a little bit about what we learned taking on the NDAA, and then with the new organization, the Solutions Institute, which is an activist consulting firm. What we do is we focus on the how-to and the process of making social change through different areas. Justin King is part of Solutions Institute. He'll be talking later about what to do with tear gas. So if you're at a protest, how to defend yourself against tear gas, and what to do if you're tear gas at a protest. We'll be having a little bit of a Q&A later. But I want to focus on the particulars of local organizing. So there are 3 main paradigm shifts that you have to have when you go into politics. And what I mean by go into politics, not run for office. Who really here wants to run for office? Please don't raise your hand. I don't want you to get mobbed. Okay. So I don't mean running for office. I mean getting engaged and keeping the politicians off your back and out of your life. That's what I mean by getting engaged in politics. I mean getting engaged on the local level and preventing them from messing up your life and messing up what you want to do with it. So we're going to talk about 3 paradigm shifts today. The first shift is access to power. Now when most people get involved in local organizing, get involved in engagement, what's the first thing you're told to do when you want to change things? Come on, you guys know. Whoa. Hey, Dan. Whoa. Does this work?
It's 50 watts.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Let's give me a bigger voice.
Hello?
Does this work?
Yeah.
All right, I like that. Okay, I'll eat the mic too.
Right.
Anyway, so vote and what else? What else are you supposed to do? You're supposed to
Change it from the inside.
Change it from the inside. That's the second.
Contact your elected officials.
contact your elected officials. There you go. You're supposed to write your representatives. Who's ever done that? How well did that work?
Not
You're lucky to get a response.
You're lucky to get a form letter back.
You're lucky to get a...
The secretary will write you back. You're lucky if you talk to the staff. Okay. So obviously one of the things we found is that writing your representative, talking to your representative does not work. Now, what most people do when they talk to or they reach out to their representative is they're working off a paradigm called access. I'm talking about a paradigm called power. This is changing your thinking. If you're in access, when you call up your local representative, he goes, "Oh my God, it's Joe. Hey, how you doing, man? I'd love to have lunch with you. Yeah, our kids can go hang out at the picnic together, whatever. That's access. You go from there to the press conferences. You get to meet your political heroes. You get to go to the banquets. You get to talk to all of the people who make a change. But you give up one thing with access. You are not allowed to change the status quo. That's the one thing you give up when you choose access. The second is power. Power is when you pour your blood, sweat, and tears into pressuring your local representatives to leave you alone. And when they see that phone, when they see your number, they go, Man, it's Joe. I really don't want to pick this up. No. Hi, Joe, what do you want? They avoid you in the hallways. They choose not to talk to you. But when you want something done, they do it. Let me give you an example. Emmett, Idaho. A friend of mine, Jason Casella, moves there from California. Knows no one. Has never talked to anyone in the city before. And he goes to a city council meeting. He meets up with the local, it's Idaho, so it's the local Tea Party group. And he starts talking with them.
I knew that was going to happen.
And instead of going to his local city council and just sitting down with his representatives and over a cup of coffee and trying to teach them that, hey, you should stop indefinite military detention here, instead of writing his representatives, instead of choosing access, he chose power. In a town of 3,500 people, he brought 80 people to a city council meeting. That's basically the entire electorate of the city. So he brings 80 people to the city council meeting, and what do? They pass legislation. They say no to the NDAA. And then what? Any of you guys familiar with Agenda 21 or sustainable development of any kind? Okay, so Jason's sitting there in a council meeting, and this smart growth comes up. The city's going to spend $117,000 to start implementing Agenda 21 in the little town of Emmett. And he goes, hey guys, can we not do this? Can we go to the next meeting? Wait 2 weeks? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yo, Jason, you know what? We're gonna bring you on as an advisor to tell us how bad this is and tell us what to do. We're actually going to call you before any legislation goes through. We're gonna get your advice. How many people had their local city council call them on their to get their advice recently? See, that's the difference between pressure or power and access. The second, English to understanding, or English to pressure.